This is just fictional story. It's imaginary. Watch at your own risk. No copyright intended. I only own the storyline, editing, and maybe voiceover if I have to. Deeply sorry for the grammatical errors or any mistakes. This is just purely for entertainment purposes. Thank you. You can mute the video if you only want to peacefully reading.
She, who's been working here for more than 3 years, keep focusing on finishing her work as she need this to be done today. Her eyebrows furrowed ever since she started clicking on the keyboard without her even realizing it. And then after a few more minutes, someone knocked twice before opening her office door, making her stop and looked up. She raised her eyebrows when she saw one of her coworkers peeking at her. "What happened, Anna?" The new worker smiled awkwardly. I'm having a little trouble with my test, so could you... She smiled a little, knowing what she meant. "Of course I can help, but after I finish this, probably another hour." Hearing her, Anna's smiles got bigger as she nodded. "It's fine, I just need to finish that one before home, 'cause they let me do the rest at home." She nodded. "Alright, then I will meet you after lunch." Anna nodded. "Thank you so much. See you." She chuckles as she went out, closing the door back. She sighed before continuing her work. But not even 2 minutes, someone again knocked the door and peeked inside. She furrows her eyebrows when she saw her again. "What is it again, Anna?" She chuckled, making her more confused. "Sir told me to call you." She raised her left eyebrow, but still nodded. "Alright, I will go to him. Thank you." Anna nodded, but still staring at her for about 5 seconds before she eventually moved back and closed the door. She shook her head at her behavior before closing her laptop and stood up, as she needed to meet her boss. Someone knocked the door and the man looked up before clearing his throat. Straightened his posture before speaking. "Come in." The person opened the door and walks inside, closing the door back and turning around to walk to her boss's desk and bowing before speaking. "You called me, sir?" The man cleared his throat again and nodded. "I want to discuss about yesterday's meeting. The client asked for more references and I already got a few. Tell me which one that we shouldn't show to them." She nodded, and her boss signaling her to sit while he turned his laptop to her direction so she can see the screen. She sat and started looking at the laptop with a serious expression. Meanwhile, her boss used the chance to staring at her, even though her face wasn't that visible because of the laptop. And he secretly smiled. He's been secretly admiring this worker for a few months. Even though ever since the first day she joining this company, he already feels something different about her. But he thought it was nothing, so he tried to be professional and never let his feelings grow. He started to like her, but he never tried to approach her, scared she will be uncomfortable and worse leaving this company. So until now, he just keep on admiring her in secret. I guess this third option doesn't quite fit the concept. She looked up, but blinked her eyes in confusion when she catch her boss suddenly looking away and cleared his throat. "Oh, let me see. I don't remember the third option." She nodded, trying to shrug the thought off and slowly turned the laptop back to him. He looked at it and furrowed his eyebrow. "Can you explain how can you say this doesn't fit the concept?" "I choose everything carefully. She cleared her throat. You see on the left, we need it to be more like a simple but still not the boring type. Something that a high schooler and college students like. The man furrows his eyebrows while still staring at his laptop. On the left, which one? She also furrow her eyebrows? A little down on your left, sir, but still her boss couldn't get it. He sighed. I still don't get which side exactly. She also sighs and then decides to sit up. Let me show you, she said, and that's when her boss realized she is coming closer to him. He tried to be normal and move his chair back a little to make it easier for her to see the screen. And when she stood beside him, she bent down to look at the laptop. And, though there's still some distance between them, the man's still able to smell her perfume, and he unintentionally closing his eyes. This one, or maybe let change a few things and we still probably can use this, she said, pointing at the problem. But she furrowed her eyebrows when she got no response. She then looked at her boss but blinked her eyes, seeing him with closed eyes. Sir, and he opened his eyes after hearing her calling him, clearing his throat. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired. She hesitantly nodded before again looking at the laptop. This one, and she again explained to him. This time he listened carefully. Oh, you're right. I can do that if you want me to, sir. You can send this to my email, but I still need to finish the previous work first. She stood up properly, but her boss shaking his head. No, the client needs this as soon as possible, so. How about you do that on my laptop instead? I still have another laptop. That way we can save some time. She nodded. Something like this weren't new, as she already worked here for quite long, and her boss already trusts her enough to the point she can use his laptop. Oh, sure. Alright, you can take my laptop. Just do it there on the couch. He pointed at the couch place at the corner of his office, and she nodded. Alright, sir, she said, and take a step closer as she knew to take her boss's laptop, while he also moved back a little. But then, before she could even touch the laptop, something happened. Suddenly, her right leg stumbled over her own left leg, making her eyes widened. Suddenly, everything became slow motion for her. But in reality, she suddenly fell to her boss's direction. Everything happened so fast while her boss is opening his arms in reflex, trying to save her. But she closed her eyes tightly, thinking she will fall and crashing into her boss's arms, and it will be so embarrassing. But something worse happened. While everything turned dark as she closed her eyes, suddenly again, everything became slow motion. Even her boss do nothing as he freezes surprised. He tried to save her, but everything happened too fast that his plan didn't work perfectly. And after a few seconds, she finally realized what is happening. She immediately opened her eyes wide. And that's when she found out everything is real. She is in her boss's arms, basically almost sitting. But the worst part is, they're staring at each other for about 5 seconds before she come back to her senses. Her eyes widen more before she immediately move back, fastly get up with a bit difficulty, and also her face already red. Actually, her boss's face also turned red, but because she couldn't look at his face after what just happened, she didn't notice that. She started to get so nervous and then immediately bowing. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. It's okay. He answered fastly. She stopped after hearing what he said. She gulped but still couldn't look at his eyes. Obviously, the atmosphere became so awkward. She didn't know what to say. But then she got even more nervous when she noticed her boss slowly standing up. She'd take a step back in nervousness, but her eyes widened when he suddenly stopped her, holding her arm, making her look up at him and gulped. Listen, I'm really sorry. I won't let that happen again. She started to bow again. My legs stumbled. I didn't know that will happen, and I really... Can you stop and listen to me? She closed her eyes and gulped. Did you feel uncomfortable around me? She blinked her eyes. This is the first time he called her just by her name, and she felt the butterflies in her stomach went. What do you? Can I be honest? Don't be, and just answer me honestly. She finally slowly looked up at him. Suddenly the atmosphere. And when their eyes met, both feeling something weird, he'd take a deep breath. After what happened, I guess this is the perfect time for me to confess. Thinking if she don't like him being this, she will, and he won't continue what he want to say. But she didn't say anything nor even, and it makes him more confident. He smirked a little. I guess you already, but I have feelings for you. Her eyes slowly widened. She couldn't say anything. But then his eyes suddenly look at something, and when she understood, it makes her more. So, can you accept me to be yours? Her heart already. The truth is, she also has a crush on him, but she thought she shouldn't feel like that because he is her boss, and she thought it will make her look unprofessional, so she tried to be normal and hide her feelings. And she also never even imagined he will also like her. But now, he suddenly confessed. Before she could answer him, she again heard his deep voice, whispering to her. Not gonna lie. The way met mine before, it makes me suddenly eager to tell you how I actually feel towards you. He then closed his eyes and gulped. But he was waiting for her answer, and she still didn't say anything. Please just say yes or no, because if you say no, I will leave you immediately, but I promise nothing will change about your work in this company. I will act as professional as I can. What if I say yes? He opened his eyes when she suddenly said that, and their eyes locked again. He gulped and whispered, Then I will. You until you're... The moment he said that, making his eyes landed on her. Say it. She closed her eyes and... Yes, I also like. Before she could even finish what she said, and he whispers in between. Next day. She walks inside the elevator, feeling excited yet a little nervous today, pressing the button to the floor where she works at. But before the elevator door fully closed, suddenly she saw someone running to the elevator and her eyes slightly widened when he managed to. And before she could even say something, the man already. She closed her eyes and after a minute and chuckled, while she blinked her eyes after her boss, aka her new boyfriend, just all of a sudden in the elevator, his palm still on her cheeks. He chuckles again after looking at her expression. This is what you got because you didn't allow me to come to your house yesterday. She's still trying to catch her, and he, whispering to her ear, today I won't even let you go away from me, because I still didn't get enough of your... She closed her eyes when he called her like that. And I'm sure I will never get enough of it. So bear with me for forever. He smirked. Both didn't realize that the elevator already opened a few seconds ago, and the workers watching them